It's easy to feel like we're sinking in a sea of stress and doubt in the chaos of our daily lives. Still, there is a way to find peace within, even in the middle of chaos. That has stood the test of time. Picture this: no matter what life throws at you, you can stand firm in the face of work pressures, family conflicts, and unexpected problems. Peaceful and calm, this isn't a dream. It's what Stoicism is all about. A way of thinking that helps us control our feelings and deeds so we can live a better life. Today, we're going to look at 10 timeless ideas that are at the heart of Stoicism. Beliefs that can change how you deal with the ups and downs of life. These are not just ideas, but useful tools that you can use every day to get stronger and more resilient. Whether you're having a hard time with a relationship or feeling like you have too many things to do, whether you're looking for a greater sense of purpose or just want to learn more about Stoicism, its wisdom can help, and useful tips to help you do well. Come with me as we go through these powerful Stoic lessons, from how to keep your life on track to how to master the art of calmness, of mental control, and each principle is a step toward a life where outside events don't matter. By the end of this movie, you'll know how to stop letting other people control your inner peace. Tips and tricks to stay cool and sure of yourself no matter what life throws at you. Let's start this life-changing trip together and find out how the ancient wisdom of Stoicism can help us. Can help you find true happiness and peace that won't go away. If you like what we're doing here, please do me a favor and click the subscribe button. Don't skip any of the movie. If you set sail on a huge ocean without a clear goal, you would drift aimlessly. Life without a clear goal is like being subject to every change in the wind and waves. Without direction, they were open to outside forces, and Epictetus stressed how important it was to have clear. He said that problems show what kind of person someone is, and the harder the problem, the better the person. The more glory there is in getting over it. This isn't just an intellectual thought, it's a call to action. Having a clear goal is like having a guide. That helps you understand life's rough waves. This reason doesn't just appear. It comes from taking time to think about what's important to you. There are more important things than just job goals and personal accomplishments. Who or what do you want to spend your whole life with? What type of person do you want to be? Here are the questions you need to answer to find your clear purpose. Once you know what your purpose is, it keeps you grounded in the middle of the chaos that life will bring your way. This will happen, but if you have a clear goal, these problems will be easier to handle. They change mountains that seem impossible to climb into steps that you can use to get to the top. Think about it this way. When you know exactly what you want and what you stand for, the world around you seems to get smaller. Massive problems turn into small steps on the way to your final goal. Stoic knowledge has given people an inner strength that is hard to beat. A strong goal isn't something you find by accident. It's the result of careful planning. To do a deep reflection on what really means to you, you need time and honesty. You need to look deeper into your soul than the wants and needs that come and go. To find out what really moves you, you might have to look at the direction of your life again. Whether it's giving up old habits or opening up to new ideas, self-discovery is an ongoing process. As you were meant to be once you found your meaning and made it a part of your heart. The next step is to take care of it and protect it, which requires persistence. You have to be dedicated to your goals and show up every day, even when things get tough. It's about getting through setbacks and failings by understanding that they are a part of the trip. Remember that a clear reason isn't just a goal, it's also a light to follow. That gives you confidence and strength as you go through life. Think of a clear goal. As a lighthouse at night, it not only leads you, but also makes you feel safe. A strong sense of purpose in life that keeps you on track when life's storms try to blow you off track, stopping you from falling into the deep end of your feelings and hard situations. That's the power of Stoicism. It's more than just a set of rules for life. It shows a deep understanding of how strong will and drive can be. Epictetus tells us that remaining dedicated to our goal is what gives us real power. In the light of this theory, nothing is impossible, even if there are outside problems. And nothing can break your strong spirit, so take some time to think deeply about your goal. Write it down, think about it, and let it guide you. This clear goal will be your center, your steady way through life's storms, and your guiding light. It's normal to feel upset and want to get back at someone who has hurt us. But this is where Stoicism comes in and teaches us something very important about our feelings. Are based on our own ideas and thoughts, which means we have the power to choose. Figuring out how to handle any situation without getting angry, we can look at it as a chance to get better at being patient and self-aware. Think about this every time you fight the urge to act without thinking. Your mind is getting stronger as you train it to stay cool and collected. No matter what, thought control is an art that needs to be practiced every day. Start with small habits that help you get back in charge of your thinking. Every day, set small goals that you can reach. Every time you reach a goal, celebrate. No matter how small, you boost your confidence and support your skills. Focus on living in the present moment and learning more to get your mind under control of your feelings. When you start to understand that you can decide how to react, you'll be able to handle problems better and be less affected by bad feelings. Think about the story of a cook who works hard every day to get better at what they do. This cook doesn't care about negative or positive feedback. They only care about getting better. Not caring what other people think, this unwavering commitment lets them find real freedom and peace of mind. In the same way, you can focus on your own growth if you keep outside influences out of your thoughts. Setting limits is also part of protecting your mind. Be aware of what you let in. Just like you wouldn't let trash into your house, don't let bad thoughts into your mind. Negative people or media that is bad for you should not be in your thoughts. With good people who inspire and boost you, read books that help you learn more. Spend time with other people and have talks that make you think more deeply, who help and support you. Stoic thought isn't just a historical subject. Being able to control our thoughts is a useful skill for today's world, and deal with our feelings in a healthy way. We can find real peace and freedom in this unstable and unclear world. You don't have to hide your feelings. You just have to understand them deeply and act in a certain way that is in line with our beliefs and goals. One useful method is to think about being aware or meditate. These activities help you become that makes you more aware of your feelings and thoughts, putting some time between the stimulus and the reaction. By practicing awareness every day, you can find your power and freedom in that space. You train your mind to watch without responding right away, which gives you more power over your emotional world. Is another way to keep your mind safe. Is developing a growth attitude, which means seeing problems as chances to learn and grow. Instead of threats to your safety when you're having a hard time, tell yourself that every problem is a chance to get smarter and better. This change in outlook can change how you deal with problems, making you stronger and less likely to give up. To bad effects, keep in mind that protecting your mind is a journey that lasts a lifetime. It means choosing to keep your attention on things you can control, like your thoughts and actions. It's about rejecting the victim mindset and taking on the role of an active, not passive. You are in charge of your own experience. The more you practice, the easier it is. You'll soon find that outside events don't have as much power over your inner peace. Epictetus taught that we can't change other people's thoughts or deeds. We can choose how to respond to them, though. This idea means that even if someone criticizes us harshly, we can choose how much that opinion affects us. In the world we live in now, this means being aware that everyone has their own ideas and beliefs that might not always match ours. It's normal to hear different points of view, and sometimes mean things. What counts is how we handle them, and how you react to them is the first thing you need to do to deal with feedback. Is deeply knowing ourselves. When we have a clear picture of what drives us and the reasons you did what you did, judgment from other people stops hurting. If you know you are following your ideals and principles, negative comments from other people won't bother you. Become less important. Being aware of yourself builds a strong base that keeps you from being easily swayed by other people's views when you're being criticized. Instead of getting defensive, take a moment to think and stop. Ask yourself if the advice, even if it's harsh, is based on facts. Even though feedback can help us grow, that doesn't mean you have to take it all at face value. But being willing to think about it shows that you are mature and ready to learn. Stoicism also teaches people how important it is to be patient and kind. Being patient helps us keep our cool and not respond badly or quickly to criticism. Being gentle with others helps us keep good relationships with them even when they disagree with us or criticize us. Think about the lives of saints and ascetics who were harmed and insulted. They stuck to the path they picked with patience and kindness. We can deal with criticism without letting it upset our inner peace if we are patient and kind. Dealing with criticism also means getting a thick skin. This doesn't mean losing interest in things. It's not about ignoring criticism. It's about building resilience. People don't always criticize you. Sometimes they criticize other people. They do this because they are insecure, angry, or confused. Realizing this will help you separate the criticism from you and keep it from lowering your self-worth. Keep in mind that you can choose how to react. This freedom is at the heart of Stoic thought. While someone may criticize you, that doesn't mean you have to agree with what they say. You can choose to keep what's useful and throw away the rest based on your character or skills. This chosen way of dealing with criticism lets you grow without being held back by bad things. Another good way to deal with criticism is to have a helpful conversation. If the feedback comes from a close friend or family member, you might want to talk to them about it. Ask for more information and calmly state your point of view. This will not only help settle, it clears up any confusion and makes your relationship stronger by encouraging open conversation. And mutual respect, being able to handle feedback well, can inspire others when people see that you take criticism with grace, stay calm, and be ready to learn. They will probably look up to your strength and try to be like you. You become an example of how to be strong. And emotional intelligence that live by the Stoic ideals in daily life. Epictetus said that what scares and upsets us is not the events themselves, but how we think about them. This means that when someone hurts you, it's not what they say or do, but how you think about and react to those words or deeds. In other words, you have the power to choose how much a crime will affect you. This idea is freeing, because it takes power away from outside factors and puts it in your own mind. Getting over an insult doesn't mean hiding your feelings. It's normal to be hurt or mad when you've been wronged. Stoicism teaches us to recognize these feelings. It's about making room between the stimulus and not being controlled by them, and the answer you give in that space. The power to choose an answer that fits with your long-term goals and values is one useful way to attack cognitive reframing. When you're angry, try to look at the problem in a different way. Instead of focused on the bad, look at it from a different point of view and ask yourself what you can learn from this. You don't have to agree with the offender, but this lets you get any lessons out of them and learn from them. For example, if a friend attacks the way you live, instead of taking it personally, think about whether their point of view is valid. Stoicism also says that if it's a chance to show that you're committed to your beliefs, how important empathy is. If someone hurts you, try to see things from their point of view. What could be making them act this way? This point of view can help you deal with anger with kindness. It's not about letting bad behavior slide, but about knowing what it means to be human and realizing that everyone has problems. Holding on to offense and practicing forgiveness is another powerful method. And being angry hurts you. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to get sick. You can free yourself from bad feelings when you choose to forgive. Forgiving someone doesn't mean you agree with what they did, but it does mean they can't hurt you anymore. It's a present you give yourself that lets you move on with peace and understanding. Stoic thought also tells us that facing and getting through problems is what makes us truly strong. You can't avoid offenses, but everyone you face is a chance to make yourself stronger. Your character gets stronger by meeting and changing offenses, just like a muscle gets stronger by working against it. The more you do this, the easier it will become until you find that outside events can't really upset your inner peace. Know that transforming offense is a skill that you don't get good at overnight. It takes time and self-awareness, and a promise to grow as a person every time you decide to change an error. You're making it easier to act positively in the future by reinforcing a good habit. Epictetus pointed out a very important truth. We decide what events mean. This makes us feel fear and shame, which means that these feelings aren't built into the events themselves. They come from how we see them. We can start to change how we see and deal with fear and shame once we understand this. Fear usually comes from not knowing what will happen or expecting bad things to happen. Our body does this naturally to keep us safe, but it can become crippling. Stoicism teaches us to face our fears head-on if we let it. We shouldn't avoid what scares us. Instead, we should look at it closely and ask ourselves, what exactly am I afraid of? Your fear will often lose its power if you break it down into specific worries. When you think about it logically, let's say you're afraid of public speaking. If you break it down, this fear could come from being afraid of being judged or making mistakes. You know that the people in the room aren't there to criticize you, but to learn from you. If you mess up, it's not the end of the world. Every person does it sometimes. By meeting your fear and getting ready well, you gradually gain confidence. Every time you talk, you eat away at your fear, making it easier to handle. Shame is a strong feeling that can make us feel like we're not good enough or broken. Society's expectations or mistakes in the past are often to blame, as Stoicism tells us. To face shame with bravery and self-compassion, we need to accept our flaws. That we learn from our mistakes instead of letting them define us, instead of letting your shame grow. Think about a time when you felt bad about a mistake you made in the past. Face the mistake head-on. Think about what went wrong and figure out why it happened. What does it teach you? How can this help you improve yourself and grow as a person? By thinking about it and learning from it, this process can help you turn shame into a useful lesson. Instead of a reason to hate yourself, another powerful tool. Self-forgiveness is an important part of getting over shame. Holding on to shame keeps us stuck in a loop of criticizing ourselves. When we forgive ourselves, we give up the heavy load and let ourselves move on. This doesn't mean we should forget about our mistakes, but we should recognize them and learn from them. Letting them go is an important part of getting better and healing. Take small steps to get better at getting over fear and shame. Slowly put yourself in situations that make you feel these feelings. Take every event as a chance to learn something. Over time, you'll become stronger and find that what used to scare or shame you doesn't affect you as much as it used to. This slow contact and thought helps you become less sensitive to the shame and fear. Stoicism teaches people how important it is to work together to deal with problems and help. Talk to trusted friends or teachers about your fears and feelings of shame. Getting honest about these feelings can free you up and give you new ideas and support. Often, you'll find that other people have been through the same problems and can give you useful advice and help. Epictetus said that, imagine the problems that might come up along the way and get ready to deal with them. Being calm and thinking about this isn't about being negative or expecting the worst. When you expect problems, you need to be reasonable and ready for anything. You're not surprised when they show up. Instead, you've already thought of ways to deal with them. And ways to control your responses is one useful way to get ready for problems. Is through a method known as premeditatio malorum, which means planning evils ahead of time. This means taking the time to picture possible problems and think about how you would deal with them. Like, you might think about what could go wrong before a big meeting, problems with technology, tough questions, or even just feeling nervous. By picturing these situations, you can prepare how to react and lessen the shock of being caught off guard. This practice isn't about focusing on bad things. It's about making your mind stronger. You're less likely to lose your balance when you've practiced how to deal with problems in your mind. When they do happen, you become more flexible and able to keep your cool, which is a key part of Stoic thought, expecting problems. It also means being adaptable and ready for things to change, because things rarely go as planned. And having high standards can make you feel let down and stressed. That things might not go as planned, you can be adaptable and make changes to your plans as needed. This ability to change is necessary to handle life's uncertainties with grace and effectiveness. Keeping a fair view is another important part of being ready for problems. It's good to think about what could go wrong, but it's also important to know what you're good at, and resources that recognize the skills, information, and support networks you already have that can help you deal with problems. This balanced method makes sure you're ready. Without getting too worried or negative about the problems that might come up, helps you be more patient and persistent when you know that problems are going to come up. You acquire a long-term outlook that values hard work over quick success. You learn to be more patient with the process and stronger when things go wrong. Stoic philosophy stresses the value of staying strong, and this endurance is a key part of that. And inner strength, regularly reflecting on your life, can also help you do better. To be ready for problems, think about what you've done in the past. Find similarities. What problems did you have and how did you solve them? What worked and what could be done better? By knowing what you've been through, you can improve your problem-solving skills and get ready for future problems better. By practicing awareness, you can improve your ability to predict even more. Mindfulness helps you stay present and aware, deal with problems, and stay present, letting you see possible problems early and act quickly and carefully. It helps you control your emotions better, so you stay calm and focused. Even when things are tough, Epictetus once said that what counts is not what happens to you, but how you deal with it. This simple but deep sentence gets to the heart of what it means to be strong inside. Our real power doesn't come from changing outside factors, but from controlling how we feel inside. When things go wrong, whether it's harsh feedback from a friend you trust or an unplanned setback, we are free to choose how to respond, and that choice shows what kind of person we are and shapes our lives. Self-awareness and careful practice help us build inner strength. It starts with being aware of your feelings without letting them take over. This does not mean hiding your thoughts. Instead, it means paying attention to them and figuring out where they come from. You can better control your emotions when you know what makes you feel bad. Being aware of yourself is the first step to getting stronger inside. Stoicism also stresses how important it is to know the difference between what we can control and what we can't, and what is not. Being able to tell the difference is important for keeping your inner peace. We can't change what other people do or say, but we can change how we react and feel about it. By focused on what we can change, we can use our energy well and avoid stress that isn't necessary. This change in how we think gives us power and helps us stay grounded when things go wrong outside. Forgiving others is a strong part of having inner strength. Holding grudges and resentments is not. Just like Stoicism tells us, it makes us tired and makes it hard to make decisions, to control how we respond, and it also helps us learn to forgive. It doesn't mean that we should accept bad behavior. It means that we should let go of its grip on us. Forgiving someone frees us from their hurt feelings and makes room for wellness and growth. Being resilient is also a part of building inner power. Life is full of ups and downs, and failures will happen. The important thing is to see them as chances to grow. To get stronger, every problem you face is a chance to get better at being tough. And consistency over time, this practice makes you stronger on the inside, making you more flexible and less vulnerable to the ups and downs of life. To be patient, we should look for strength not only in ourselves, but also in our faith and community. Surround yourself with positive, helpful people who share your values and who will inspire and uplift you. If you have a spiritual practice, talk to people who will challenge and broaden your ideas. Use these outside sources of help to get strength and direction, can make you stronger on the inside and give you a sense of purpose and connection. Another good way to build inner strength is to practice thanks. Being thankful changes your mind from what you don't have to what you do have, which makes you feel better. It's always possible to find something to be thankful for even when things are hard. By focusing on the good things in your life, you can boost your emotional health and keep a balanced view of things. Being emotionally strong also means being open about your fears and doubts. Facing these weaknesses doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. With bravery and kindness, you can turn them into sources of power. Accepting yourself is a key part of having inner power that helps you get through life. Being honest and sure of themselves. This doesn't mean hiding your thoughts or acting like they don't exist. It means being aware of them, but not letting them control what you do. It's about making space between stimuli. And answer a moment to think about what to do and pick the best course of action. This act of pausing and thinking is very strong and can change things. how you connect with the world. For example, when you're driving in traffic, if someone cuts you off, you might get angry or even get road rage right away. Stoicism tells you to stop and think about this urge before acting on it, and think about what you'll do in answer. Will honking or yelling make things better? Probably not. If you choose to stay calm, you stay in charge. Having control over your feelings and behaviors will make your life less stressful and more peaceful. The ability to delay gratification is another part of restraining behaviors. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to want quick benefits and stay away from pain. Stoicism, on the other hand, teaches us how important it is to be patient and persistent. We develop discipline and perseverance by putting off pleasure and working toward long-term goals. In times of heated debate or conflict, this idea also applies to how we talk to each other. When we're upset, it's easy to say things we may not have meant to. Stoicism tells us to be careful with our words before we speak. Think about how your words affect others. Are they helpful? Do they show what you believe in? By speaking slowly and carefully, you can make your relationships better and more respectful. Being self-aware and disciplined are needed to practice self-control. Being aware of your urges and deciding to control them is what it means. This could mean making new habits, practicing awareness, or setting personal limits that help you reach your goals. For example, if you tend to put things off, make a plan. That helps you stay on task and get things done. If you have anger issues, learn how to relax that help you stay calm when things get tough. Stoicism also stresses how important it is to act logically instead of emotionally. This means making choices because I gave the situation and its effects a lot of thought. Imagine you need to make a big choice at work, but you don't want to make it quickly. Gather information, think about the pros and cons, and make a choice based on that. This well-thought-out method gets better results because it fits with your values and goals, and a stronger sense of control. Stopping acts is not the same as becoming passive or not doing anything at all. It's about being deliberate and intentional about the decisions we make. It's about realizing that what we do has effects, and being accountable for those effects. We can reach our goals more easily if we learn to control ourselves. And keeping our inner peace by reflecting on a daily basis can also help your ability to control what you do. Take time every day to think about how you behave. And think about where you could have been more controlled and what made you want to act out. In what ways could you change how you react in the future? This ongoing self-evaluation helps you understand yourself better and makes you more determined to act with purpose. Developing a daily mindfulness exercise is another useful way to stop doing things. Mindfulness helps you stay in the present and aware, which lets you spot urges that come up out of the blue, and choose more thoughtful responses, whether you do this by meditating or doing deep breathing techniques, or mindful observation. Adding awareness to your daily life can help you control your impulses a lot. When we fight truth, accepting it is the first thing that we need to do to take action. We waste energy and cause pain that isn't necessary, like when you lose your job. It's normal to be upset and scared about what will happen, but by accepting what is, you can think about what you can do next, like improving your resume, making connections, or looking into. This proactive attitude helps you find new job prospects, takes on the task better, and lessens the emotional impact of the experience. Mindfulness and meditation are useful ways to learn to accept things as they are. These activities help you be present and aware, so you can notice your feelings and thoughts without judging. By practicing mindfulness regularly, you learn how to enjoy every moment as it comes, flaws and all. Stoicism teaches us that this kind of acceptance builds a base for inner peace and strength. That accepting something doesn't mean giving up. It means finding strength in tough times. It's about realizing that every event, no matter how hard, presents a chance for learning and growth. When you're having a hard time, ask yourself, what does this teach me? How is this going to make me stronger? When you change your point of view, problems become opportunities to grow as a person. Giving up the need to be perfect is also part of accepting things as they are, for greatness in our jobs, relationships, and personal successes. But this never-ending quest can cause stress and dissatisfaction. By realizing that we can't be perfect, we can be proud of our efforts and growth. This doesn't mean we should drop our standards, but we should understand that mistakes are a normal part of being human. Accepting our flaws and failures with kindness helps us live a fuller, more honest life. Another strong way to grow acceptance is to be thankful. We change how we think when we think about what we have instead of what we don't have. From lack to plenty, being thankful helps us see the good in our lives. Even when things go wrong, being grateful on a daily basis helps us keep a positive attitude and enhance our capacity to accept and value life as it is. When it comes to our relationships, acceptance also means letting go of standards, of how other people should act, which makes them angry and let down when they don't live up to these standards. We can live in peace if we accept people for who they are, with all their flaws and strengths, and happy relationships, but that doesn't mean putting up with bad behavior. Being aware that everyone has their own road and problems by showing compassion and empathy, we make a place for real connections and progress for everyone. Stoic thinkers like Epictetus stressed how important it was to live in harmony with nature, means understanding our place in the world and acting in a way that makes sense to us. This concept is all about living honestly, and it has a social nature at its core, and in tune with the world. Living in harmony with nature starts with being aware of yourself. We need to have a deep understanding of who we are and what our true nature is. This requires us to think about our values, strengths, and mission. We can make choices when we know what our natural patterns and inclinations are, that are true to who we are instead of conforming to what other people expect of us or outside pressures. This idea also means understanding and agreeing with life goes through natural stages. Just like the seasons change, so do our lives. If you accept these patterns, you can experience growth, stability, decline, and renewal. Living in harmony with nature can help us handle life's changes more easily and with more grace. Includes working on good qualities like temperance, wisdom, courage, and ethics. These values are the rules that help us deal with the problems we face in life and make moral choices. Wisdom helps us see things clearly and make smart decisions. Courage gives us the strength to deal with problems and act. Justice makes sure that we treat everyone equally. And being honest in our relationships, temperance helps us stay balanced and in charge. By working on these virtues, we make our behaviors more in line with our naturally logical selves. Stoicism also teaches us how to get along with other people because we are social creatures. We are naturally linked to the people around us. To live in harmony with nature, we must understand how we are all related. And adding to the health and happiness of our community, this means showing empathy. When we help others and make friends, we show kindness and cooperation. We satisfy our social side and make the world a better, friendlier place to live. Embracing simplicity and focusing on what really counts is another part of living in line with nature. We can easily lose sight of our real priorities in a world full of things that make us happy. Stoicism tells us to get rid of the extras and focus on what's important to us and basic wants. This could mean making our lives easier and putting relationships first, and making time for self-care and personal growth. By doing so, we make room for the things that really make us happy and satisfied. Stoicism also stresses how important it is to accept things as they are and be thankful for what you have. Letting go of the need to control every result in life means accepting the way things are. I hope that the process will help us be thankful for what we have and enjoy the present moment. Thankfulness makes us see how lucky we are and encourages a happy attitude. When we think about the good things in life, we feel happy and at peace. To live in harmony with nature, we need to be aware of how our actions affect the world around us. We need to take care of the planet and keep its supplies safe because we are part of nature. Making decisions that are good for the environment, cutting down on waste, and protecting the delicate balance of ecosystems by living in a way that doesn't harm the environment, we value our link to nature and work to make the world a better place for future generations. Making mindfulness a part of our daily lives can help us live more in line with nature. Being mindful helps us stay in the present and aware, which lets us make choices that we want to make, that are in line with who we really are. Whether it's through meditation, deep breathing, or careful study, these activities help us bond with ourselves and the world around us. They make us slow down, think, and act with meaning. As we come to the end of our look at these Stoic ideals, keep this in mind. The only way to really be powerful is to master your own mind, not the world around you. Accept the Stoic way of thinking and acting, and let it lead you to a life of inner peace. Stay strong and happy, and thanks for being a part of Stoic Journal. If you thought this video was helpful, here are some other movies you might like. Keep your strength, stay rooted, and keep going on your way to health and wisdom.